Welcome to All About Math series.
Hey everyone, my name is James, and today I'd like to offer some perspective on a skill that you may or may not frequently encounter: simplifying fractions. Specifically, why do we simplify fractions? I'll give you one very good reason. But first, just a quick review of the terms. The top of a fraction is the numerator, and the bottom is the denominator. If you're good with that, let's remind ourselves of what does it mean to simplify a fraction. So it's basically rewriting a fraction to its simplest form by canceling out any common factors between the numerator and the denominator, but without changing the decimal value. So remember, fractions represent decimal values. So if you put into the calculator, you'll get some number, maybe whole, or there may be a number with a decimal and then, something like that. But you can rewrite a fraction, and if you simplify it, it actually doesn't change the decimal value, and that's what it means to simplify the fraction. Even though the fraction looks different, the decimal value is actually the same. So when I say the simplest form, it means that the greatest common factor between the numerator and the denominator is 1, or the only number that can multiply into both the top and the bottom is 1. What do I mean by that? Well, looking at my example here, you have 2 over 6. Well, the greatest common factor, or the highest number that can divide into 2 and 6, is 2, which means that I can simplify this fraction. Rewriting 2 as 2 times 1 and the bottom as 2 times 3, we see that there's 2 on top and 2 on the bottom. So we can cancel them out, and we are left with 1 over 3. Now the highest number that divides into both 1 and 3 is 1. So that means the fraction is in its simplest form. If we enter 2 divided by 6 and 1 divided by 3 into the calculator, we still get the same decimal, 0.333 repeated forever. But notice that they give the same decimal value even though I changed the fraction. This is what I was talking about earlier. Let's look at some more fractions. Just from looking at this, any idea what the decimal of each fraction is? I'll give you a few seconds. Weirdly, they are all 0.5. But this means I have a fraction I can simplify each of these two. What do I end up with? Well, regardless of which fraction you simplify, you end up with 1/2 for all of them. And that fraction equals to 0.5. But the special part is this fraction, it's the simplest I can go to because the only number that multiplies into the top and bottom is 1. So you may be asking yourself, they all equal the same decimal, so the answer is the same, right? Why simplify fractions anyway? In my eyes, you raise a valid question. If you get the same answer, it is right. I won't disagree with you there. Let me show you something. Simple is better. If you're required to use an answer for more calculations down the road, it will be way more beneficial. Let's say, suppose I have two fractions, 121 over 242 and 1 over 2. As we saw earlier, both fractions have a decimal value of 0.5. What if I wanted to add 2 to both fractions? Okay. Well, if I did that with 121 over 242, and for some odd reason I don't have a calculator to help me out here, this is what you would have to do. So notice that you dealt with some pretty big numbers there, multiply top and bottom by 242, and so forth. Okay, well, you get 605 over 242, and that actually equals to 2.5. Okay, cool. Well, what about if we had done it with our simplest fraction? The numbers are way smaller than the ones you deal with if you did the bigger and unsimplified fraction. What's funny is that both values have a decimal value of 2.5. And so this means that you can simplify 605 over 242 to 5 over 2. So a very good reason we simplify fractions is because if you have an answer that's a fraction, but you need to use it down the road for more calculations, it can save you from a headache or two. Thanks for watching.
a wrap for today's episode of All About Math series. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Until next time, keep learning, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next All About Math episode.